Y'all don't mind me. Welcome to this edition of At the Mic. I'm your host, Keith Malinak. Trying to figure out. There we go. Okay. See, I always, you know what? If you watch this on a regular basis, you're probably tired of me explaining. I'm just waiting for it to appear over on the tablet. Okay, just to make sure. Anyway, thank you for joining us here on the Friday live stream. Yesterday, if you missed, 24 hours ago, we sat here and we did the Thursday deep dive, and it was the first edition of our Barfly or Barfly. I think we're going to call it Barfly because of Brad. Episode 1, where we just sat around and hung out and drank vodka and talked about what was on the agenda there. There's a lot of conspiracy theories. We just sat around. We had the Las Vegas aliens. I remember that. We had World Trade Center 7. We had Bigfoot. We had the Egyptian pyramids. We had 5G and the JFK assassination. Yes, I believe that covers everything. Anyways, a lot of fun. If you missed that, it's somewhere. It's at youtube.com/atthemic. Look for the Thursday deep dive playlist. It's also somewhere on my Twitter feed, which I swear I'm getting close. I'm getting close to getting it figured out on how to set it up. So it's a lot easier to find these things on Twitter. Okay. But until then, just bear with me. Anyway, I appreciate all the fun that we had yesterday and all of the feedback and the participation. In fact, let me do a better job. There we go. I've got the comments up. Thank you all, everybody over there. And I'm sorry that I'm not good at multitasking with that, but I'm gonna work on that. That's my back half of New Year's resolution. That'll be how about that? Okay, good. All right, so let me. And next week at this time, we're gonna have my buddies Travis Bransel and Dominic Salvatore. In fact, Dominic was episode 115. Okay, I don't know that a lot of you realize that this show used to just feature conversations with people about their lives, and it was great fun. That was kind of like At the Mic 1.0. And so if you may not be aware that atthemicshow.com exists, and all of the stuff is listed there. And also, in fact, well, I'm not going to put on the screen. I've got 50 tabs open, but I won't waste your time there. But atthemicshow.com, but also they are in their own playlist. Again, youtube.com/atthemic. Now, next Thursday, one last housekeeping. I'm sorry, y'all. FBI corruption. Oh my gosh, that's going to be a long show with FBI whistleblower Steve Friend. We got to talk about a lot of stuff there. But let me no longer delay the entrance of my lovely guests, Daniella Pentsak and Carol Roth, both making time this afternoon. Thank you, ladies. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. I appreciate you making time. Carol was actually a part of that original. You were episode 98 of At the Mic Show in its original form.
That's pretty good. Did you look that up ahead of time, or is that like rolling around in your brain somewhere?
I'm acting like it's just in my brain, all naturally and organic, Carol.
We'll roll with that.
Yeah. I did scribble it down before we started. Great conversation there. I remember a pinball machine. That's that had to have been fun to move, right? So, ladies, thank you for making time. If you're a watcher of The Blaze in Glenn Beck, my boss, my day job over there, Carol is on there all the time talking about the economy and things going on in the world that we need to watch out for. She's the author of an excellent book, You Will Own Nothing. If you haven't read this book, please do, because you will see exactly what the elites of the world have planned for you. And also, Carol has a newsletter, a free newsletter you can sign up for at carolroth.com/news. So be sure to, in fact, I should have made a banner for you. I'll work on that. I'll work on that. And Daniella Pentsak, I don't know you very well. I know you from Twitter, and I know that you have a Substack, the Dialectic Project. Did I pronounce that right?
Correct. The Dialectic Project. Yep.
Yes. Okay, cool. And you are a frequent guest on Austin Peterson's show, Wake Up America.
Yes.
Austin was also a guest on the original. I don't know what episode that was. Sorry, I didn't look that one up. Anyway, so the man who should have been the Libertarian Party nominee back in 2016, in my humble opinion. So anyway, Daniella, I encourage people to go and get to know you there and through your newsletter. And Carol, don't forget her website as well in the book. Ladies, what we do here, and by the way, if I seem distracted today, it's because I've been trying to catch. I know it's this light that I've got lights above me, and one of them is blinking. And like whenever you look up and then you just stare for the next 5 minutes, it doesn't blink, and you're like, all right, I know you're playing with me. So anyway, you see me doing this, it's not Tourette's or some tick or something. It's literally I'm just trying to catch which light bulb it is. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure y'all knew that. One thing we do here is we always pay homage to one Calvin Coolidge, and we have to do a little Calvin Coolidge fun fact. And this I like this. He was the first, and until Barack Obama, I can't believe they're in the same sentence together. That's gross. Until Obama went there in 2016, Calvin Coolidge was the only president to travel to Cuba while still in office. That's pretty interesting. When he arrived in Havana for a conference, Coolidge seemed pleased at the warm reception expressed by citizens there, so much so that he temporarily broke free of his laconic stature and took a bow. Let's see.
Wow.
Oh, he arrived on the USS Texas? That's down in just outside Houston now, if I recall. Park down there. Anyway, so there you go. Love me some Silent Cow. Okay. Shall we start off with some rapid fire so that everyone hanging out here can get to know y'all a little bit better? I've got a few questions here for you. Let's see. Carol, I think we'll start with you. Do you prefer dawn or dusk?
Oh, 100% dusk. I am not a morning person at all. I love a good sunset. I like the nighttime. I am sort of non-functional in the morning, which is sometimes when you see me on Glenn Beck, it's very early when I'm on the West Coast. So if I'm not making sense that day, yeah, this is obviously a really bad rapid fire, but just to give some clarity around.
It's never rapid. Trust me, it's never rapid. I don't even know.
Rapid fire. Yeah, no,
it needs to have a new. In fact, let me make a note here. Non-rapid fire. We're gonna change the name of this segment.
No royalties due to me, but yeah. So I'm a dusk girl, like a good sunset, like an evening kind of vibe, and all that stuff.
Okay. You know what? I was just noticing here before you answer, Daniela. You know what? I'm gonna make a banner for y'all because I forgot to tell you before we started that underneath, you can change your name there and put your handles if you want to do that. So yeah. So anyway, just if you want to do that, go for it. And in fact, I'm gonna stop being so annoying with that. I'm gonna go ahead and make this banner for y'all while you answer the question, Daniela. Dawn or dusk.
I will also have to go with what Carol said. I am also a dusk person. I'm a big time night owl, and I think the best at night. The first half of the day is always challenging. It's like I have to slog through some cerebral issues before I can actually think properly and functionally. So definitely dusk.
Well said. Cerebral issues. Ladies, do I have your Twitter handles correct? Oh, you already added it. Look at you. I saw that, Carol.
And you got mine wrong. Mine's JS.
Oh, God. I just did that from memory. All right. Well, anyway, I tell you what. You put yours up there. I see. And Daniela, if you
how do I even edit my name on this?
I think the upper right corner. I think you'll have 3 dots. Yeah.
In the bottom with the backstage thing. And you can edit name.
I'm the boomer here. Sorry, guys. I can't. The 3 dots. I see. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, and let's see here. We just celebrated Independence Day, Daniela, yes. July 4th. What is your favorite holiday?
Well, that's all really a hard one. I will have to say Thanksgiving simply because I like eating a lot of food. And that is, I think that pretty much, I do also like Christmas. That's a hard one to beat, but I feel like that's a really cliche answer. So I'm just going to have to settle with Thanksgiving on this one, Keith.
Okay. All right. That's a good one. I like it. Carol?
So my favorite holiday is Christmas, and it's not cliche for me because I'm a Jew.
Okay.
It adds a different layer in there, as you can see from my Star of David. But the funny thing is that I grew up in an area that was completely Jewish, and my dad didn't realize this. And so he was like, I want to make sure you don't miss out on anything. So we had Santa Claus, we hung up the stockings, we did the whole thing. And because we lived in this heavily Jewish area, I was the only kid that Santa Claus came to visit. So all the other kids would be like, why is Santa coming for you? And I'm just like, I don't know, maybe he doesn't like you, but he's at our house and I got sweet swag. So I don't know. But yeah, so Christmas is my favorite. They've got, great music, great food, great cookies, decorations, presents. Like, what's not to like about Christmas?
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm cheating, but I just like that whole period between Thanksgiving and Christmas, A lot of people would call that the month of December, but I'm just saying, like, that whole season there. I like the weather. I like the anticipation, the build up, and I loved it as a kid, but I love it, having kids too. But now that they're, oh my gosh, I don't want to say this out loud because it hurts the heart. 16, 18, and 21, that, the magic, it's still there, but it's a different, you know what I mean?
Not the same, yeah.
It's different.
Yeah,
You're not taking your kids and sitting them on a stranger's lap who's cosplaying at the mall, which is
right now.
Really
now
weird,
you're making
really weird thing. How did that happen? Who said, like, hey, let's get some sketchy guy who's unemployed all year who likes to dress up in December and take our kids and put them on his lap for a picture? Like, who came up with that idea?
Send me down a rabbit hole to look up the history of that, because then I'll feel bad. I will say one thing: if kids are listening, you might want to just scoot them for just a moment. One time, so let's see. So they were both. I mean, all three were at the age where they were all about Santa, right? And there was a Santa at the mall. And what was cool is I met Carrie and the kids there, and it was like lunch break. And so Santa comes up. Well, I beat them there, and this wasn't intentional; it just worked out beautifully. So I'm standing there, and I see it, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, man, my three kids are gonna be here in a second." And he's like, "Oh, all right, great," And I'm just saying their names are Aslan, Ezra, and Z. And I stopped myself. I was like, you know what? When they come up, if you just say, "Oh, look, it's the three Z's," because otherwise he was going to screw up their names. And I know this. So anyway, and it worked beautifully. He's like, "Hey, it's the three Z's." Oh. And they were just like, totally. Anyway. Okay. Kids can come back now. I mean, I love that. I love that stuff. Okay. So, Carol, do you, I can't read my handwriting, y'all. I should have printed this up. You ever had a nickname? Oh, do you have one now? Have you ever had one?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has like millions of nicknames, right? My husband's got a whole slew of nicknames for me. One of the ones that I was named as sort of a youngster and that sticks with people. Some people who know me as CJ. Because of my first and given middle initial. So a lot of people called me CJ, and I never liked the name Carol growing up. So when I went to college, I tried to, take CJ, and I just couldn't get used to it. So I just relented, and now I fully embrace the Carol. I know there's a Carol in the chat, so I fully embraced our name and really like it now. But for a hot minute, but there's still some people who call me CJ, and being quote unquote internet famous, you get called all kinds of things. So, I'll answer to just about anything.
I gotcha. Danielle, how about you?
So as everyone can see, my name is Daniella on the screen, but actually my legal name is Danielle. So I've had the struggle of having to go between Danielle and Daniela. My name was supposed to be Daniella legally, but they screwed it up on the birth certificate. So it's legally Danielle, and that has gotten me, I believe it or not, that has gotten me in some trouble before in the past with some documentation. But I prefer Daniela as far as so I technically have two names. But I don't know. I haven't had that many nicknames growing up. The natural one that people usually fall on is Danny, which, that's Dan, Danny. That I've had that thrown at me a few times. I don't really care for it, but that's just like the natural. People just gravitate towards that. If they get close enough with me, they'll just call me Danny. I'll just put up with it. It's fine.
Put up with it.
I tell everyone, just call me Daniela, please.
That's awesome.
What about you, Keith? Do you have a nickname? Big K or anything like that? Special K?
There was like 5 minutes where Chad Prather tried to get that to stick, but no, that didn't really stick. No, actually, I was sitting here thinking, I've never had one except for 1 year in softball. So I would bat lead off, and I remember I would always bring one of these long, thick pixie sticks, not the normal ones, but they were like the hard
Yeah.
plastic ones, and I would. Anyway, I would just down it to get go. I'm right. I'd be in the on deck circle. The pitcher's warming up, and I was Homer Simpson, and then I'd get out there, and I guess that earned me the nickname Sugar, which I don't know that I appreciated, but anyway, especially when I would come back to the day, hey, Sugar. Anyway. Okay, so fastest speed you've ever driven in a car, Daniella, legally Danielle.
I would have that probably like 100, 120, I think. But that was like a while ago, not lately. I honestly don't know. The soonest one that's most recent, probably like 90 miles per hour. But I would have to say like 120 is probably the fastest I've ever driven.
And you didn't get pulled over, did you?
No, I live out in the mountains, in the highways where there's not a lot of cops. So I do not recommend people to do that.
No, I can't.
Ever.
Yeah. Well, before I let Carol answer, I will just say the fastest I've ever gone, I of course got pulled over. And so it was on Interstate 80 in Keith County, Nebraska. You want to talk about the middle of nowhere. And it was 105. And the officer was very kind. He gave me an 85. He put in an 85 because, and this is, by the way, I'm old. And so the speed limit was 55 at the time.
Ooh.
And so he said, I'm going to write it for 85 so that you can do this diversion thing, keep it off your insurance, pay the county, all this money so that insurance doesn't go, whatever, you know how it works. And so, but he's like, but just for the record, you were going 105. And I was like, just for record, I know. Anyway, so that was in college. Carol, what about you?
So I had a fantastic Camaro when I was growing up. And it definitely got into the triple digits a few times, but only not for like sustained periods, more of like, hey, here's what I can, how fast I can go. But, I live in a city, and, when I go out with my husband, he drives. So it's like, I don't actually even drive that much anymore, but we do have people around us who've gotten to some numbers that probably shouldn't be said on a live stream.
So you said that was a Camaro you were in?
Yeah. So I've been working since I was, like 12 years old, and did babysitting and stuff before that. So I had saved up. And when I was 16, my dad helped a little bit, and I bought a Camaro, and had that when I was a youngster with the fabulous T-tops and a spoiler, the whole kind of 80s vibe going on.
Nice.
And the hilarious thing in retrospect, right, is that I grew up in Chicago, and we know the winters there, and this is like a rear wheel drive sports car, which is not what you should have a 16 or 17-year-old driving in the middle of winter, but
oh boy, what kind of car were you in, Daniela, when you were going Mach 3, or what was it?
This was what so the car's limit was 120. I remember, at least that's what it said on the speedometer. I do remember trying to hit it at the very end at one point, but this was when I first got the car. I must have been like 20 years old, 19, 20 years old. I'm going to be 29 now, so this is a long time ago, but I believe it was a Toyota Yaris was my first car, which is, if people don't know, it's a very small Toyota. I now have a Camry, much more functional, but it was my first car. It was a cute little Toyota Yaris, and it was like shaking when I reached 100. Yes. I remember. Yeah,
side panels start flying off.
Right, exactly. So I didn't go for very long. It was like maybe like a few seconds. Then I had to get it back down. I was just curious to see if it could withstand that speed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Toby mentioned he did it in an 86 Honda CRX.
Nice.
Mine was an 87 Honda Accord. And I blame the fact that I had Sunday Bloody Sunday playing on the stereo and a girl riding back to Lincoln with me. So that's my excuse.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, ask permission or beg forgiveness, Carol.
No, beg forgiveness. I'm an entrepreneur. Like, you can't be an entrepreneur and ask permission. So
that's good. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
How about you, Danielle?
You know what? That is a hard one because it's hard for me to beg for forgiveness, but asking for permission also has its negatives, optically speaking. I did struggle with this question. It really depends on the situation and the context, but if I'm just gonna have to answer point blank, I will have to probably agree with Carol and say, beg for forgiveness.
Mhm.
I
Or
think
Alright.
there's like a third choice, right? It's just unapologetic. Like you just,
That's what I wanted to say, but
right.
I'm trying to keep with with the question.
Yeah.
See, I don't even follow the instructions of the question.
And remember, you don't have to, because the new title of this segment is non-rapid fire. We can slow down
True.
as much as we need to. Let's see here. Okay. Do you lead a standing ovation
Yes.
or wait for the crowd? And I have when y'all are done answering, I actually really thought about this one and tried to relate it to something else that happened recently in our society, but I'm going to wait for y'all to talk first here. Daniela, what say you?
I always wait for the crowd. It's difficult for me to lead I can't. It's not in my personal character profile to do that very much.
Mhm.
I'm pretty introverted, if you can't tell. So it would be difficult for me to start that on my own.
Understood. Carol?
I'm the introverted leader. I'm always the first person where I'll just stand up and do whatever, just assume
But
that everyone follows, and they always do. So,
But is
and
there
in fact,
ever a fear that you're going to be the only one standing up?
what's the fear?
I don't know. Just
That
you're the
I
only one.
acknowledge somebody and everybody else was a hole. I don't care. I don't
Yeah.
care what people are
There you
doing.
go. Yeah.
What's like
So-
what's the downside of that? I mean, if somebody, whatever it is, but it's not just the standing ovation. Like if we need to go somewhere, people are always going to be like, Carol, like what should we do next? I'm just always put in that position, whether people know me or not, whether it's deserved or not. People trust me, and I always just run with that. Plus,
Okay.
I'm also the kind of person I don't trust anyone else, so I don't want to follow what other yahoos are doing. I want to set the pace. I trust myself. So.
See, I was thinking about this question. I don't want to get too deep here or off track, but welcome to the Friday live stream. So I was thinking to myself, I do not stand up first. Hell, even if I'm in church and I know it's time to stand up, I'm still going to be like, right? We're good? Yeah, we're good.
Slowly, yeah.
Right.
Same.
Like, I totally know it's time to stand up, but I'm still going to take extra long just to be sure.
But
anyhow,
that's a different thing, Keith. That's an instruction versus something that you're inspired to do yourself.
Well, okay, so somebody analyze this, my answer to this question. So I am definitely the last person to stand I'm in the last 25% of standing up for an ovation, right? Mostly because I'm just lazy.
Same.
I'm tired. Yeah. It's like, oh, come on, y'all. I gotta go. I gotta get up in the morning. Are we really gonna drag this out? Okay, here we go. Anyway, but then I got to thinking, oh my gosh, you follower. Shame on you, because during the whole mask bullshit, I was not wearing a mask. Fuck that. And then yet I would stick out like a sore thumb with that. But when it comes to honoring someone or whatever, I'm like, I'll sit back. I'll let the crowd do this, and.
But maybe because you don't think it was warranted or deserved. Like if it was something where you were really inspired and you thought it was necessary, then you might be the person to stand up. You just don't want to be part of like, oh, this is required, so I have to do it in this moment.
I don't know. I agree with Keith in this manner. There's been a few situations where I did like the performance. I just genuinely just wanted to go there to relax. Like I didn't want to stand up. You know what I mean?
And I feel your laziness on your part.
I can be very lazy. I feel bad, but at the same time, I don't feel bad enough to stand up. So.
Now, hold on a second, though. If you have kids, that's different. Then I'm the first. Yeah, let's go. I'm loud and whatever. Not obnoxious to the point, but just make sure that, you're definitely audible with your clapping. Like, in other words, if it's somebody else's kid or something.
Right.
Anyway, I think that's all the questions, right? That's all the non-rapid fires. Let's see here. I got important stuff on the floor that I don't want to mix with the discarded show prep. So y'all got to remind me, throw the trash this way today. Okay. So, did you see the price of a stamp is going up again? You better get stamps this weekend because come Monday, it's going up 5 cents starting Monday from 68 to 73. I mean, that's 17 years now since they did the forever stamps in 2007. They were 41 cents when they started doing that. And now they're about to be 73. This is Keith math, so you'll have to check this for me. 32 cents over 17 years, so about 2 cents a year on average. I don't know. I'm honestly, there's really not a topic here. I just wanted to make sure people knew that. So if you're a nerd like me and you went down and to the post office yesterday and bought $100 worth of stamps, that reminds me. Hang on, I got to write a note. See, and I'll throw it this way. I got to buy Christmas stamps. I got to buy forever Christmas stamps. Forever before. Anyway, any thoughts on this? I mean, it just, I don't know, government.
Joe Biden's America. I mean, the average Big Mac is now what, $7 as opposed to what it was originally, what, $3? I went to Taco Bell to buy 3 chalupas. It was $20.
What?
Everything's yeah, that was my reaction too. Everything's going up, groceries going up, and now stamps are going up. What do you do about it?
Here's the thing. Absent your Christmas card mailing, which I really understand, like, how many letters are you mailing, Keith? This is a question I have for you. Like, very rarely, like, I have to go, and of course, me being a financial person, I locked in my forever stamps a long time ago because I wanted to get the good investment.
Look at you.
But like, I have to go find them because very rarely am I actually sending somebody something in the mail.
You know what? All my bank stuff is out of reach. I'm not going to get up here. Maybe if we take an intermission or something. But I have to remember here, it's not often, but I do mail stuff. And by the way, how old, you want to talk about boomer? This is me, okay? And I get, oh gosh, this is gonna derail the whole conversation. So bear with me here. I'm going to try to sum this up quickly. I hate when companies say, it's time to go green. You can go green and we'll send you an electronic bill instead of this paper thing. Because, Mr. Malinak, you're the last human being that still gets paper bills. You understand that, right? And see, for me, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And my inbox on my email is out of sight. But if I get a paper bill in the mail, then I can stack them on top of each other. And then when it comes time to pay the bills, then I will have that there. I don't need random emails, mixed in with show prep for Pat Gray Unleashed or spam from Honey or whatever, that I get in my inbox. And so, and then of course they say, well, if you want to save money, then you'll go paperless. And then I'm like, damn it, they got me there.
But here's the thing. So I'm with you on that. I want them to send me the snail mail, but you don't actually then send back like a check, do you? You just pay it online.
No. No. And I was sitting here trying to think of, it's not often anymore. You're right that I have stuff in the mailbox going out, but it is on occasion. In fact, I think the mailman lady, what do you call that? A mail lady? Then that sounds like I'm talking about something entirely different. But anyway, so I think she is so trained now I bet there's nobody in the neighborhood that mails stuff out. She doesn't even check the box app. I'm being serious. Half the time I put something out there, it's out there like it's day 3. And I'm like, open the box. Come on. So, but what I do is this is my brain. Okay. So if I get an email, right? And it'll say like, hey, your whatever bill's due, then I will write on a post.
Right.
I hate me. I will write on a Post-it note, auto insurance bill or whatever, and that one actually still a paper bill, bad example, but for the purposes of this exercise, and I'll take that and I'll add it to the stack of paper bills so that again, when I'm sitting down, these emails, I'm not going into my email. That's what I want to understand is, are people legitimately this much more organized than me that they can get emails and pay their bills on time and all that stuff? I don't know, whatever. It's me, isn't it?
No, you're not the only one that struggles with that. No worries.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
it's
I'll
a
miss a
constant
bill.
challenge.
Right, I'll miss a bill, and then I have to call and get the stupid late fee off. I'm like, I didn't see your stupid email. Anyway.
I don't like emails for important notices. I keep my work email separate from sort of everything else. I'm real particular about that. So I don't like anything to interrupt my workflow. But there was something else that to completely derail this topic that you mentioned.
Welcome to the show.
This whole thing that's about the going green. My pet peeve is in the hotels now. They're like, hey, we're going green, so if you want to save the environment, like, don't wash your towels, and we're gonna like change, and we're not gonna give you the disposable little hair things anymore. We're gonna put this big thing in there. And it's like, come on, you're just doing this to save money. Let's just be honest about it. It just annoys me that you're using the green thing as a cover for what's obviously an economic decision. And look, most people don't wash their towels every day, right? We use them a few times, so it's not a big deal. But just be clear about it. Don't try to like say, hey, this is because we're going to save the planet now.
However, when you're in a hotel, you'd rather not have them air dry the previous guest towel and then fold it up for you because they're trying to save energy. Oh, stop. What's the point of that? Anyway, but I wanted to your point about how they're saving money, but they're saying, oh, we're going green, we're saving the environment, using less plastic. Bullcrap. You're making this top of this water bottle impossible to get off because it costs less plastic. You multiply this time the however many millions of bottles that you produce every year, and you've saved that amount of money on production costs. It has nothing to do with the environment and the earth. Stop it. Anyway.
Did you guys have a challenge? Because I had this when restaurants started introducing this. It was having a QR code instead of a menu.
Yes, I hate that.
I hated that.
I've ranted about this so much.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Like I make them go and get me a paper menu. I don't care if it's smeared with last night's special. I don't care. I want the tactile thing in my hand. I'm not downloading another damn menu onto my phone. I'm not getting your app. I'm not going to your website. I don't care.
Wow.
If I'm going to eat here, you need to find a paper menu. And I swear, I wonder how many times my food has been spit in because they went into the back and they just printed it up off the website and they were just like, I don't know, I got some asshole at table 3. Yeah. Well, we'll be spitting in his food later. But I can't stand the QR code thing. Even though my guest last week was very important in the development of the QR code. But hopefully
no.
Well, I don't mind a QR code, in certain scenarios, but I'm with you, Danielle. I feel like, again, this was a cost-saving measure or a labor-saving measure, whatever it is. And yes, there is some element of the paper menu that's a little bit gross, but that being said, it's my kind of gross. And I too want to look at the whole shebang. I don't want to be taking, multiple pages of information and trying to look at it. It's annoying.
Yeah.
So I want to scope the whole thing. And I'm also, I think you mentioned, Danielle, that you like to eat. I like to eat too. So this is like part of like my hobby, my vice, right? I want to really enjoy this and take in all of the options and not be screwing around with my phone.
Right. I don't want to screw. Right. But that's the thing. When I'm looking at the menu, I need to be able to quickly just go, okay, do I want? Oh, that's got that. I can't be doing scrolling and page flipping. You're absolutely right. And I'm like that with everything. It's not that I hate trees and I hate the environment. And I mean, I care less about it than most, I realize. But the point is, I like to be able to hold stuff, whether it's my bills, whether it's my menu, and whether it's show prep. And this right here for this show, for Pat Gray Unleashed, everybody and their brother uses a computer screen in that building, except this guy. I don't know what it is about my brain. I don't know. Maybe I love clutter in my life. Maybe that's it. And look, I readily admit I'm the most unorganized person that I know. Maybe this has something to do with it. But damn it, when I need something, it's right there. I don't have to sit there and flip and open and whatever.
But yeah, I'm with you. So people know me. I'm fairly anal retentive about many things. So it's a shock when people find that I'm physically very messy. And I'm like you. I like to have all my stuff spread out. I have, no joke, hundreds upon hundreds of tabs that are open on my computer.
Yeah.
But I'm like you. What you said, Keith, resonated with me. If it is out of sight, I completely forget about it. But even if it's like somewhere in a giant pile, like I know where it is in the pile, and I can just go and retrieve it, but it has to be accessible, because if that pile's in the drawer, then I just don't remember that it's there anymore.
I'm telling you, and behind this curtain dun, 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 is a long table that my kids, my wife, everybody mocks me for. And it's this long table. This is inside baseball. I don't know if I can show this without it falling down. It's 5 trays, 5 of those, black trays. And in it right now, if I look at it, it says, okay, so this first one has a Post-it note on it. It says 718. And on top of, so it's on top of a bunch of stuff that Steve Friend and I are going to talk about next week on the Thursday live stream. And then let's see, 725. Anyway, so I'm just looking, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. You know what else is back here? I forgot I set that there. This is a plate that I forgot to take down to the kitchen. But anyway, it's just, I have to have it linear and in order and where I can see it. I can't have it on a digital copy, and I can't even have it stacked up. I've got to, I'm telling you, I am mental. Sorry. Okay, let me show you this, because it was almost a segue until I derailed everything. But Daniella,
passionate.
yeah, Daniella mentioned going to Taco Bell, and I thought, oh my gosh, the next story is about Taco Bell, and then I went and ranted about paper for half an hour. So, okay, so this is the headline. This is a recent article from the San Francisco Gate. One of the most unusual heists in America seems to be unfolding at Taco Bell. So I've got to actually go back here and scroll down here. So what this goes through is they commissioned artwork from one specific artist for restaurants, and he made 3. I think it was just. Oh, I'm at the bottom. Oh, I forgot I read this. I didn't scroll back. Don't mind me. Okay, so there's a headline. Okay, so anyway, there you go. Blah, blah, blah. But it talks about how this guy made these art pieces for Taco Bells, and then what they would end up doing is they remodeled them. They got rid of that because this was like 20 years ago that he made these. And so I want you to look at that eBay listing right there. Y'all see this, right? This says $10,000 or best offer. I mean, apparently there is quite the market for this Taco Bell art out there, because when they remodel, the managers or some of the workers will sneak this stuff out the back, and there's this underworld of Taco Bell art, and I don't know what it is about art, but I just don't get it. I don't know. I'm just not into it. Generally speaking, there's some out there that I'll be honest and say I like. I don't just say I dislike it for the sake of saying I dislike it, but like stuff like this, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? This is the Beanie Babies of the art world now.
More abstract art is what you don't like, is what you're saying, or
That's
what?
true. Yeah, that's true.
Well,
I like
what kind of art do you like? I mean,
I probably don't even know the name of it. I know if I see it. I don't know. You post like what is it? Roman type stuff.
I post like sculptures on my Twitter.
Yeah, some of those are a little weird. From my
Oh,
taste.
really? You find the Roman sculptures weird too? Wow. I guess you really don't like art.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I'm trying to say, that I don't mind it. I just don't usually like it. Yes, you're right. I don't, do I? Anyway,
what is it about you don't like? Is it just because you don't like understand, or you get anything from it?
You know what? I should have come with examples that I did like, that I do like. Shame on me for not being prepared for this conversation.
Answer the question. Yeah.
But I mean, would you guys pay? Okay, let me ask you this. They are selling that one piece of art. I don't know if they're getting it. That's 2 different things. But the story makes it sound like they're getting, like this right here. They reappear $300 to $750. But like, who's paying $10,000 for that? Come on, stop it.
So here's the thing. I'm very deep in the collector world.
Okay.
I have several businesses that are around collecting, and have been a collector myself for a long time. And so I view this not so much as, art in the traditional sense, but maybe as, enthusiast collectibles. And there are probably people who collect fast food memorabilia. And so to have something that was once on the wall of a Taco Bell that's been ripped off, that's awesome. And this has been happening throughout time, right? When Blockbusters used to have those like stand-up cardboard cutouts of movies, when they were getting out, people would the employees and customers would try to get those, because there is a collectability to popular culture. Now, whether or not that's worth $10,000, I can tell you, is whether or not there's at least one, but especially two people willing to pay that. And that will determine it. And is this one, if there's like a whole market for this, and this one, this is the only one that anybody's found of this particular style, maybe it is to that community of people worth that. So, it's very interesting with collectors because it's really all about that social contract of how desirable something is, supply and demand, and what somebody wants and how bad they want it. So I actually think it's pretty cool. I don't know that I paid $1,000 for it, but to have something that was like, I love Taco Bell art. I do think it was a missed opportunity. I mean, I think if it were like a bunch of used wrappers that they used and they like shaded them in the shape of a taco, like that would be even cooler, right? And you could put that behind acrylic glass. But I think it's fun. Like that would be fun in like a game room or a basement or something, maybe.
Okay, hold on. Now you're selling me. That would be cool in a basement or a game room. But notice we're hiding it. We don't have it in the living room. We're putting it off.
It has its place, right? And it depends on like how you display it. Maybe you're displaying it with, some Bob's Big Boy that you were able to buy off the internet and a McDonald's sign and whatever. And now you've got this whole like fast food theme going on. It sort of changes the tenor. So I think you have to kind of look at it through a different lens, but I'm down with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a second. This is the greatest description of me ever. So let me get this right. Keith is an analog ADHD child of the 90s. What a mix. Sounds like a self-deprecate. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. I mean, you said it. I mean, do I not sound like a boomer right now? Like this entire show, I have just sounded like this curmudgeon that just hates everything.
Shakes
Give me my paper.
Sky.
Right. So hold on a second. You asked me a good question, Daniela. What kind of art do you like? There's been one piece of art, and I just Googled it to hold up an image here, that in my life, I said, I've got to find this someday. I've got to find this. And we were at the Liberty Bell. And the way I remember it, it's like, I don't know, in Philadelphia, they've got the Liberty Bell, and then there's like a gift shop attached to it, or maybe it's all in the same room. I forget. But I just remember it was indoors. And I remember there's a big barrel in the corner, and these posters were hanging out of it. And then I look, and there's a display in front of it, and I'm like, oh, there it is. There's the piece of art that I've known about, this painting that I've known about for a few years at that point. I must have that. And I bought it, and it's framed, and it's hanging up in the nicest room in our house. And I adore this painting. I forgot the guy's name. His last name was Ferris, I think, but I don't remember his full name. But anyway, and here it is. It's the writing of the Declaration of Independence. Ladies and gentlemen,
cool.
I don't know if can you see that? Look at all the trash on the floor, all the rough drafts. And then it's even got the ship hanging up above there. I mean, that is an epic painting because Franklin's looking it over and Jefferson's like, please don't screw anything up. And Adams is like, you're going to change it, aren't you? It's awesome. I just love that so much. So anyway, I need to, you know what? Screenshot. I'll be posting that on Twitter later. Okay, so
I've got. Before we leave this topic, I have questions for both of you. So, Daniela, first of all, do you collect anything?
Oh, that's a good question. I did collect since I was a kid fossils. I really like fossils. I collect political buttons and political pins, and I think those are like the three main things that I collect. I'm really into political, like lapel pins. You know what I mean? But a political nature,
like the whip inflation now and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. That's awesome. But only political. And I do have a few vintage like campaign buttons too from like Nixon's campaign.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
very cool.
I've got a lot of those. Yeah, go ahead.
No, so I was gonna say, so another set of really cool art that I need to know if you like is Glenn Beck's paintings, because you guys have amazing paintings all over the Blaze that he's created, and some of those I would love to have.
I did not know that Glenn Beck paints.
Oh yeah,
he does, and he's talented at it.
Very.
Yeah, he is.
Like President Bush.
I think Glenn
is he better than Bush?
Better than Bush.
Yeah, better.
I think.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Sure. Yeah, in fact, he was once named the most one of the top 100 influential artists in America.
This is news to me.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say is the political pins. So since I moved the studio from down there at that end of the room that's really hot to this end of the room where the air conditioner vent is, I'm still not convinced that y'all can't hear it during the shows. But anyway, I have like every time I get ready to do one of these live casts, it's like I'm putting up one or two more. It's the slowest move from 5 feet away, you know. But one of my prized possessions over there is my Calvin Coolidge pin. So I'm
Wow,
with you on the political pins and stuff.
that's a good
Um,
find.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's see here. So this just worked out beautifully because these stories just started coming up one after another, and it just turns out that Carol, who's talked a lot about this stuff, is on this week. And I saw this story, Denmark to introduce world's first livestock carbon tax. I mean, can we make this stop, please? So it's let's see. Oh, the carbon neutrality is coming to Denmark by 2045, y'all. So just so you're aware. And so you have to pay basically $43 per let's see. Let me just read the sentence, Keith. From 2030, methane emissions caused by flatulence from cattle and pigs will be taxed at a rate of 300 kroner. It's $43 per ton of CO2 equivalent, blah, blah, blah. It's going to rise. It's going to go up double that in 2035. Anyway, any doubt that this kind of insanity is going to end up here very shortly?
First of all, how are they measuring this? Are they putting a fartometer on the
Right.
cow and they're going to be like, "I'm sorry, this one's particularly colicky today. He's had a bad day, and we're going to." I mean, that's just, it's so insane. You tax things that you want less of, and it's not that they want less emissions; they want us to not eat meat and eat the bugs, so to speak. So that is just absolutely crazy. But yeah, of course they're going to try and do it here. There's a very interesting video that's going around from the founder of Greenpeace, and he was talking about this whole climate cultism and how, you know, ridiculous and destructive it is, and the fact that we need CO2. CO2 is great. It makes the world, you know, greener. It's something that we should be producing more of, and that he's just, you know, aghast at all the people who are trying to curtail the CO2. So I encourage everyone to seek out that video as well.
Okay, that's the former head of Greenpeace, right?
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but he's not what that group is. You know,
No.
he has common sense and he understands the real world now.
Is Denmark the only nation to impose this?
Let's
Or
see here.
the Scandinavians will always do something like that.
You know, I don't want to say yes, but I feel like somewhere in this article, not highlighted, of course, I think I read something like that. Like they are the first. Denmark will introduce the world's first carbon tax.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, on livestock. Yeah. Cool.
And the Greenpeace
fun.
guy is named Dr. Patrick Moore.
Yes. Okay.
I don't think this is going to be in the United States for a while, though. Like they just tried to pass a carbon tax in Washington State, and people were like vehemently against it. So I would assume that a lot of Americans would be, and that's Washington State, okay, one of the most liberal states. So I think it would cause quite a stir if they tried to impose something like this here. That'd be a mess. And Denmark's a very small country, so like there, you know, a small population of people, more greater, or they could reach consensus at a greater rate. I'm actually not surprised of all the countries. Denmark would be the first one to do this. I just hope it stays there.
The WEF is never satisfied, Danielle.
Yeah,
it
that's
will
true.
branch out
It's true.
beyond there. Let's see, and then I don't even know if I don't. This next one, I don't know. They're trying to perfect the fake meat thing. They have some like gelatin, some gelatin. I don't even gelatinous. Keith, go with that. That they're saying no. Now we got it. Now we're this close to making fake meat taste right. We knew the taste was off, but now I just want y'all to know, lab grown meat. They didn't just go, oh, people don't like it. Okay, we're done. No, they're still in the lab, literally, trying to make it work. So just understand that this is not going away anytime soon.
Oh, I have a little bit of an unpopular opinion to this. I mean, I don't think lab grown meat is necessarily a bad thing.
Okay.
I'm assuming you guys are like really opposed to it though, right?
Let me just say, I like choice.
Okay.
If you have the choice, go for it.
Fair
I
enough.
just know
Good.
that
Yeah.
nudge is coming next, and then shove, and then before you know it, because this is all part of the plan, just like the cow fart tax is to eliminate meat from your diet and make you eat all synthetic crap. No, thank you.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm
No.
I'm in like a Whole Foods, not the grocery store, but just the concept of eating things that are as close to they are in their natural state, whether that be vegetables or fruit or legumes or meats. And obviously, I think that God has done a better job of perfecting things like ground beef, and steak, and bacon, and all that kind of stuff. I don't need some person to mess with something that is great and healthy and wonderful for you in its natural state. So that's just,
Yeah.
but again, if it's a choice, if they want to put it out to the market, and there are people in the market who, want to eat Jello. I mean, I eat weird things too. I eat Sour Patch Kids from time to time, and those aren't as whole foody as some of the other things. So that's fine. But I personally would never touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Keith has a timeout moment.
Yeah, timeout. Sour Patch Kids in vodka is the bomb. Okay. Just letting you know, and especially because when you get to the end and then it's just one big clump, and it's just anyway.
Wait. So I don't drink alcohol. So is there a non-alcoholic version of that? Can I do it in like my soda water or something?
Yeah, why don't you try that? I haven't wasted my time.
It won't be the same.
It won't be the same. So, but that's just it, Carol. I wish it were. Here's your lab-grown meat, and here's your untouched, natural, organic beef.
Right.
But it's not. They have to inject crap into everything. Whether it's a cow, whether it's your fruits, with a peel, or whether it's your vegetables with the mRNA showing up in. Thomas Massey talked about it. Was a cabbage, lettuce? I forget what it was. Yeah. I mean, this stuff is everywhere. If I could. I swear, and it's documented, and everybody in the feed here that follows me on Twitter understands, I kill everything I try to grow. I've killed so many trees in my backyard. The poor peach tree, I'm thinking of it right now. What did I do? I loved it too much, Carol. That's what happened. So I'm with you that I like the natural stuff. And my backyard would be a little mini farm. Okay, it would just be vegetables and all stuff if I could make it grow, because I don't trust anything that they're selling me to put in my body. Why do they have to tinker with everything? Bill Gates, get out of my face.
It's fair. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience, but I went to Greece and I ate like everything in sight. Like there was just nothing I didn't eat. And I came back a week later and I had lost 5 pounds. And 100% there's something that's going on that is messing with our food supply.
Okay. So you know what? That reminds me. All these pictures, every now and then you'll see, at least on my timeline, you will see the hey, look what everybody looked like in the 60s and the 70s.
Right.
Look at everybody at the beach today. It's like what's going on there? What is that? What is that?
That's a really good question.
In the food. It's in the food. You called it, Carol. Okay, so I found this other story here, and it's hard to tweet out the show link in the middle of the show. I apologize. So I don't know that there's much to talk about here. Just the headline pissed me off. I didn't even waste a lot of time reading it, but here's the headline. Labor economist says if Elon Musk paid for Social Security on his salary for an entire year, it would save 1/20th of its deficit. Why are you even thinking like that? Leave people alone. I mean, it's just like you guys ran up the deficit and didn't know how to run Social Security. I don't even want you implanting that thought into people's minds. Yeah, if Elon Musk would just pay Social Security on his entire... I don't know. It just pissed me off. And so there I am bringing it to a Friday fun show. Are we gonna ever live anywhere but Earth, ladies? You got thoughts on this? Because
Oh,
I
like
have a
colonizing
story.
Mars?
Yeah, speaking of Elon
Yeah.
Musk, ironically, I didn't even realize the two story. See, normally I try to segue nicely. I just stumbled into that one. I printed this up this morning. Here's the headline: Thermonuclear blasts and new species inside Elon Musk's plan to colonize Mars. Bottom line is he has sped up his time frame where he said in 2016, he said, we will colonize Mars between 40 and 100 years.
Mhm.
Now he is saying that apparently he's told SpaceX employees that he now expects 1 million people to be living on Mars within 20 years. First of
20.
all, do you think that's happening? So where are we at there? 2044, 1 million people on Mars. I mean, that
I th-
seems quite ambitious.
Elon's a sales guy too, so I think he does exaggerate just a bit. I don't think it's impossible, but in 20 years, that just sounds. I wouldn't trust that. I wouldn't go to Mars. Something's gonna break if they rush that process. It needs to 40 to, what did he say originally? 40 to 100.
40 to 100, and now
Yeah,
so
that
25.
even
It seems
sounds rushed to me. I don't know. Maybe like in a couple centuries, perhaps, but I don't. 20? No, I'm not going on that ship or that
Mm-hmm,
spacecraft, I suppose.
I
mm-hmm,
don't know. I used to think it was a silly idea, and then you kind of like go through the like, where would you want to live in the U.S. or the world? And every place is really gone into the toilet. So
Yeah.
now I'm like, Mars doesn't sound so bad. I guess I have
right.
to see like what's their constitution? What are the rules and regs? What does it take to get in there? Who are they letting in? And maybe if it was like a little bit more aligned, that it would be like, well, yeah, maybe I should go to Mars. Why not?
Who
And
are they
then
going to
do we take?
qualify to go to Mars? Is it just like an affordability thing, you think, or how would that even work? Because
Mm,
they can only bring in a limited amount of people there, right, to start off with.
Well,
So I
that's the
wonder,
thing.
like,
Yeah, you would
yeah,
need to have a mix because it couldn't be just affordability because then you
right.
unless the robots did everything for you and then maybe it becomes a robot people society, which also makes me nervous because I pretty much think that the robots are going to kill us all.
They would
So
have like DEI for this too,
yeah,
yeah, but
probably.
will they take?
not Elon. I don't think Elon would
That's
if
true.
he's the
Maybe
one
not
that's
Elon.
leading the charge. And I just want to know, if he is like the first to get there, then like who gets to sell the like Glengarry Glen Ross leads on the property on Mars? Like who's like divvying up the property rights for the development on Mars, and how do I get in on that?
Yeah.
Will they take Taco Bell art to decorate
Will they take
the?
Taco Bell? I mean, that's a gating item. If they don't have a Taco Bell, then it becomes much less attractive.
That's all bets are off.
Yes.
No Taco Bell, not going.
See, we've got to
No.
we have to have a checklist of these are deal breakers. You don't have
Right.
Taco Bell,
Right. Got to have a Taco Bell. Yeah.
and they can take some of the Roman art. Okay, Daniela, it's okay. Not all of
I'm
it.
fine
I
with
don't
that. Yeah.
dislike all of it. I mean, it's just some of it.
And if you're going to have Taco Bell, you also have to have my other necessary item, which is a bidet.
But
Got to have the bidet washlets, and particularly if the Taco Bell is going to be
and
there.
or a detachable shower head.
Yeah. So I mean, there's some pretty clear things that need
Right.
to be on the list in order for this to be inhabitable.
Hey, hang on a second. Now you got me looking up what's gravity like on Mars. Do y'all know?
No.
Any ideas?
No, none.
Definitely less than the Earth, but
So, there's my word. Topography. In general, topography controlled don't be using words that I don't know, especially on the fly like this. Put me on the spot here, Google. Let's see. Wavelength freer. But it says, okay, y'all are smarter than me. 3.71 m/s squared. What does that mean? Like you're heavier there or you're lighter? 3 times what does that mean? Somebody in the chat
I'm
do my
a
job.
finance person, not a science person.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so surface gravity on Mars is only about 38% of the surface gravity on Earth. So if you weigh 100 pounds on Earth, you weigh only 38 pounds on Mars.
Oh, well, then I'm definitely in. If I only weigh 38 pounds, then for sure that's gonna be amazing. You get on the scale and you're like, I can go to all the Taco Bells on Mars, no problem. This is great. I'm in.
We just cracked the code, Elon.
We did.
We're signing up.
We're the marketing team. We're gonna set up this whole utopian society. We're gonna tell people you weigh less, you can eat Taco Bell, and you'll have a bidet. We've completed the circle.
You're
It'll
gonna
be
need a
great.
bidet if you got a
Yeah.
lot of Taco Bells. Okay, so anyway, we got let's see. Oh, this story. Oh, I love this story. So I put this one next to the Mars thing. So let's say Mars isn't available, but would you want to get away from everyone regardless? I put, you know what? Let me see what the what's our current poll question results that I put on the old Twitter earlier. I asked the question. Sorry, I had to scroll past all the Matilda pictures here. Where would you choose to live on a remote island atop a high mountain? So people are picking the mountain over the island, 54 to 46%, almost 500 votes. So I mean, that's a good sample size. That's a tough one. And a lot of people ask, see, you guys are so smart, in the comments and on my Twitter feed. You think of things that I just don't even. I don't know. Sometimes it gets too wordy. Sometimes I don't even think about it. This time I didn't even think about it. Where's the island? What's the weather like on the island? Where's the mountain? It's like, I don't know. So anyway, and I was inspired to ask that question based on this story here. This is a story in the UK Daily Mail, and it's a place called Smith Island. Let's take a little tour here. Smith Island is a very remote place there. Actually, what did I see the population was on this? 200 residents. 200 residents here on Smith Island. That looks kind of cool right there. See that middle picture? Look at that. The ocean comes right up to the side there, the backyard. I like that. This guy. Now, see, but this is something to think about. If this is the guy, I think, that's in the article, his house is in such disrepair that he has to live in one part of it, so you're not hanging out with Taco Bell there. It is a remote place, and I'm sure the IRS can still find you, unfortunately, but you can get a house as little as $5,000 there. It's got great history back to the 1600s. I gotta watch this guy's video because he takes a tour of the island with this fella here. Look, there's a little store there. I mean, that's cool. But I think mostly you've got crabmen. That's kind of the whole job. It's at the very southern tip. It's down there in the Delmarva Peninsula area. It's at the southern tip of Maryland. Cool stuff here. Captain Henry Smith or landowner Captain Johnson. All right, the end. Let's see here. They got a post office though, huh? Look at that. See, the stamps are going to go up in that building on Monday morning. The 73 cents. You heard it here first. But look, there's you have neighbors and stuff. I mean, what else do you need? Look at the electrical line coming in, telephone line. I mean, you're good. You're good. So anyway, and look at this. I mean, I think this is a man cave. Like they live in a man cave. How cool would that be? I'm sorry, but
do
this
they
is
have
very
the Taco
inviting.
Bell art? Do they have the Taco Bell art?
Taco
in the
Bell art. Oh my!
That would really pull the place together and probably tip the scales, right?
That would pull the place together. Yes. Now, okay. So we looked at quote roughing it on Smith Island, and just imagine, if you had something, that private, that remote up in the mountains. Man, I don't know. I mean, you guys ask good questions. Where's the island? Where's the mountain? I mean, if you're let me put it this way. If you're anywhere in the mountain time zone, sign me up. Okay. So I'll probably just choose the mountain. And I mean that every place in the mountain time zone that I've been to, I love. So I would probably pick the mountains just because I love the mountains and I love that part of the country. But what if you ended up living in an isolated place, and this was your domicile? Look at this. If you don't follow the Twitter account Zillow Gone Wild, oh my goodness, they feature unique houses. Carol, you know that Twitter profile. Explain what you find when you go to Zillow Gone Wild.
Zillow Gone Wild is sort of a feast for the eyes if you love sort of real estate porn, I guess is the best way to put it. And not only do they have like these very over the top big houses with all of the different accoutrements, but they also have ones maybe that were related to celebrities or ones that are decorated in a theme. So something that's going to be unusual, that's not sort of your cookie cutter suburban track house, kind of everything in the same size. So it's a really fun account, and you get a chance to see all these wild houses from all over the country. So as soon as Keith told me about this one, I'm like, oh, is that the one from Oklahoma? It totally was.
So there's the house. That's the garage. And that's just, we're seeing one side of the garage, right? Because look at, is it 1, 3, 4? I'm sure it says in the thing I haven't read yet, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It looks like 24 different places to store your cars there. This is Oklahoma City. And 19,000 square foot home, 70,000 gallon pool. I don't know if you can see this on the side. Grotto, hot tub, full outdoor kitchen, 200 what is it, koi fish, electric shades, hidden staircase, multiple bar areas. Yeah, come on. Golf driving, balcony. Are you kidding me? I should have read this first, but I don't do show prep. Fireman's pole. Hello. From the kids' gaming area to the kitchen, as well as a professional bowling alley. Oh yeah, you got to see. First of all, there's your there's your. I don't know if that is a church or a. It looks almost like stained glass window art.
Yeah,
right
it
there.
is. I think.
Yeah, because that's a stage up there. There's
Yeah.
disco ball. Past the offering plate. I got to pay the mortgage for this thing.
So it's a challenge if you can get past the mortgage on this thing.
Yeah.
Because I actually think through these things is that it looks like Oklahoma's property tax effective rate is just under 1%. So that means that not only do you have to cough up the money and or the mortgage for this, but then your bill on, what is it, like 18 mil or something?
Okay, so yeah, so it's listed for 17.25 million.
Yeah, so it's like you got $170,000 a year in growing property tax bill, plus the cost of maintenance. I mean, just to clean this and to heat the electricity, the water, like this is a big old money suck. So you gotta have a lot of cash stashed away in order to make this work. I'm guessing, given the basketball courts, probably one of the somebody who plays for the Thunder.
You know what? The colors are the Thunder. You're right.
Yeah, that's kind of what it seems.
And that's
to
not
be.
a garage. That is this church. That's this game room here. Because see those little because it's the barn. It says on the side here, $6 million, 32,000 square foot heated and cooled barn with an indoor basketball court. Oh, it must be behind. I don't know. Let's see. Multiple. I wish I had all the pictures here. So unfortunately, I just have these 4. But there's your bowling alley. I mean, yeah. So who got traded? I guess from the Oklahoma City Thunder that's now having to pack up and hope there's one buyer out there. Oh my goodness. Oh, you know what? You talk about these costs that I guess, a lot of people don't think of, like the property tax or the upkeep and all this stuff. How much does it cost to clean up, the pool and the house and the interior? But then
I mean, it would just be a nonstop project with that with that much square footage and all the different intricacies. That seems like a complete nightmare.
Right. And I don't know if that's the thermostat or not, but how much is your electric bill? Oh my heavens. You know what? Come to think of it, I just want to visit it. Can I just visit? That's good.
Well, yeah, that would be a kind of cool thing. I saw somebody, Mikey in Florida, is that on Verbo? Like that would be a great thing to like rent out for, parties or events or, some kind of thing, but it's probably not zoned like that. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, there you go. See, it's a cleaning.
It's funny. So in the suburbs of Chicago and Highland Park, Michael Jordan's house is still on the market, and they've dropped the price and dropped the price and dropped the price. And it's the same kind of thing where it's just so massive and so customized that if you did have that money, it's probably not the aesthetic that you would have paid that money for. And then just the thought of like the property taxes and the cleaning. So that thing's been on the market forever.
I'll come.
Yeah.
I'll come take it off their hands. Let me see here. Okay. Big story this week has been the ammo vending machines. I'm sure you've seen this, heard this story.
Yeah.
There they are. Of course, you're going to need a lot of that if you're trying to defend a property like what we just saw there on an island or a mountaintop. But do you have initial thoughts? I have thoughts on this. Let me just say this. Not a chance in hell I'm ever using one of these machines with the facial recognition and tracking my purchases. I'm the guy that goes to Cabela's with cash to buy my ammo. But anyway, do y'all have thoughts on this? I mean, it's cool. It's a fun story, but no, not for me.
No, definitely place her by the feds for sure. They're keeping track, I would say. Maybe it'd be useful at a place like Detroit, though, or I don't know, any place where like maybe in downtown Seattle, there's consistent crime and you need to defend yourself. But you're
Mm.
right. I don't think I would want to use that myself either. That's just that's just like that's a knock on the door waiting to happen that I don't need. If you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just wonder, where are they putting these? Because when you're thinking about sales, you want to be near your customer and near their use cases.
Right.
So if this was like out at a range somewhere, like, okay, maybe it makes sense.
Okay.
If it's next to an elementary school or something, it probably seems like a bad idea. So for me, that's part of the placement, is part of the story here. I agree with you on the whole ID thing. I don't like anything where you have to let them see your identification and give them information, but that probably does have its place. It's just those are probably few and far between.
Yeah, you know what? That actually, when you go to the shooting range, if you don't show up with your own ammo or you don't bring enough, that actually would be very practical. But I still would rather go to the guy behind the counter before I'm letting a machine scan my face for any purchase, regardless of where it is. But you're right. I could see that. But this story that I have here, I mean, this is showing up and Alabama, Texas, and Oklahoma was mentioned in this story. And these are grocery stores, by the way. And then I saw a little blurb on the news where this company has already gotten inquiries from New York State to Hawaii. So they're going to be expanding soon. Okay, well, good luck. I'm not.
Wait for the outrage. I mean, this is like a Twitter outrage waiting to happen when somebody like Shannon Watts or someone like that comes across these in their grocery store. That's a meltdown that I'll be looking forward to watching.
Good boy. Yes, yes. Okay. Well, without further ado, let me get some dog videos in here.
Yes.
I know Daniella has a
Yes.
cute little fella that you see pop up from time to time. Carol, do you have a dog?
I have no pets, no plants, and no kids, but we do have names picked out for our future dogs. If and when we do get them. Unfortunately, we live in multiple places and it's just too hard to, we travel a lot and it's too hard to manage dogs, but we love dogs. And as I said, we have our names, but I just don't know if that's like just in our minds or if they will ever manifest themselves.
Understood. You know what? I still have a couple of dog names picked out and I've never used them. So one day. So I totally am with you on having the names already picked out. Okay, so hopefully y'all don't object to some dog videos here. I have a dog here that's eavesdropping on a phone call. And it's the funniest thing because we all do this with our dogs. We just don't necessarily make videos of them and post them on the internet. And so this was actually funny because she did what we should have already been doing. And she's just acting like she's on the phone and her poor little dog is listening in on the conversation. And so here is how that went.
Hello? Oh, hey, how are you? Hey, yeah, did you get the treats?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Well, we specifically wanted peanut butter.
His ears.
Yeah, because we're gonna go for a ride later. I think we're gonna go for a ride and go to daycare. Camp, yeah. Well, I don't know what we're gonna do, but I'm hoping that Sarah will be there.
Oh, he likes Sarah.
Maybe grandma, or I definitely think that we're gonna eat some treats. We're gonna see Sarah. We're gonna see grandma. Maybe we'll see Bella. Or I'm not sure yet though. But maybe we'll go for a walk. We'll go potty. We'll see grandma. And maybe we'll go get some tacos. We can go get a taco. Maybe some He doesn't know what a taco is. I've never had one.
You better go get him
He's
one.
just happy.
That was awesome. So he's really into Sarah and Bella. That's for sure.
That's like Leo and chicken. Anytime I say the word chicken, it's over. He just wants to be all over me, you know? Yeah.
He's a nice
Okay.
looking dog. He's a nice looking doggy.
He's a fat
Oh,
dog,
yeah.
let's be honest. You can say it. It's okay. I won't get offended. I know he's fat.
You know
I've been
what?
trying
That's
for
just-
years to get the weight down. It's just
I'm
possible.
guilty too. I'm the person in the house that drops food more often than anybody. So shame on me. But whatever. I love them. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, this video. This is just a compilation of dogs eating, and some of them just eat so fast. You would have thought they haven't eaten in a week. But anyway, here we go.
Oh my god.
yeah. Typical
Chill out.
Chihuahua.
Yeah. Oh, that's mean.
Snack time.
Oh, this one. Yes. That's like Leo.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta pay attention. Speed drinking around himself. Oh, whoa. That's on his head. Man, dogs.
A chicken.
Look. Oh, he's pissed. 2 pieces in there? What are you doing? That dog is trying to eat that McDonald's. Oh.
Taco for dog.
Oh, look, Taco. Hey, look at there.
Yeah.
See, you gotta. We brought it home. Okay, here. So what else we got here? Oh man, this clever dog. Let me see if I can find this. Okay, like I said, 4 million tabs are open, and that's just that might be a conservative estimate. Clever dog, where are you? Okay, hang on a second. Where is he? There he is. Okay, so I've seen this video before, but it's been making the rounds again. I'm still trying to figure this one out. I mean, obviously the owner recorded this. He knows that he's going to do this. The dog's going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, did you train him to do this? It's interesting. I want to take a watch here. Take a look. All right, so he puts a treat out. He's like, all right, you be a good boy. Okay, I'm going to go and wait for you to not be a good boy. All right, watch this. Dumb human's gone. Rah, 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 rah. Okay, good. Wait a minute, I got to cover my tracks. Now, there's an edit there, obviously, but still, I mean, he's doing this. He's going over here. And look at this. See, I'm good. I'm a good boy. I don't know. Any thoughts on that? See, look. Oh, see? Oh. Look at me. I'm good. What? Yeah, can I have a treat now? Because I didn't do anything. See, I'm good. Oh, thanks, bro.
You got 2. Smart guy. I mean, yeah, I was trained. There's a lot of videos like that where I come across where it makes you think twice, like, does this actually happen? But then you have to think about it for a second and say,
well, we're cynical for a reason.
Yeah.
Nothing is real. Nothing.
No. Not even art anymore. It's like all AI generated.
That's
so.
Okay. What do you think of that? Okay, because you're talking about art.
What
earlier.
do I think about AI art? Oh, I think it's abysmal. I hate it. Have you found any AI art that you actually like? That actually looks good?
Gosh,
I don't think they all look the same.
If it's so good.
Oh, and a lot of it they take from other sources, like actual sources, and they just revamp it, right? So a lot of it's just like appropriating from other art. It's not even original art, and then the final product is not even that great. I don't know. I see people use AI art for a lot of for advertising, for a lot of reasons. I just think it looks tacky. I don't know.
But to answer your question, no. I haven't knowingly seen AI art and thought, man, that's some good art. I like that Roman stuff a lot more for what it's worth.
Yeah. Well, it's also made by a human, so that's more, I can appreciate it more because of the labor that went into making it as opposed to stealing it from other actual sources and then revamping it. But
yeah, I do not like the appropriation of intellectual property and what other people are doing. So it's it's a very slippery slope to me. That being said, the only thing I found sort of an interesting use case is that you'll see sometimes pictures or videos on social media where they're showing things, concepts, like here's a bedroom set that does this, and just to give you a sense of, what something might look like, and to act as an inspiration, not as sort of a final piece. So I found some of those to be compelling, but I am very skeptical about where is this information coming from? How much does it heavily lean on somebody else's work? And that is very, very concerning to me.
Have you guys seen the AI generated commercials? Now, those are really creepy.
Not many.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like hands are missing or fingers.
It looks like an actual nightmare, like an actual dream I had. I hate it. And I can't stop watching it over and over again if I find like a reel of it, because it's so creepy. But I can't stand it.
So you're using it for like horror movie purposes, like a
right. That's like one of the few reasons why we can use, one of the few like justifiable reasons for using AI art. Is for horror movies. I think is understandable.
Oh my goodness! I guess so. What's next? The first AI, complete AI, start to finish horror movie, because that wouldn't be hard to do, right? I mean, that would just punch in some stuff in a computer. I don't know. Listen to me. I have sounded so old on this episode. So let's put this one last dog video up. This is a suicidal dog. Now we're going to have to play this. We're going to have to play this twice. You've seen this? This has been out for a while. Yeah. Okay, so we got to play this twice, because first of all, she's out there talking like some delivery man or something, and then
oh my god,
she caught the dog. Yay!
Oh my gosh.
Now I think I had to kill the audio on this because I think there was music or something, and I don't want to get flagged later. But just understand that the delivery guy says nothing. His feet are in concrete. I don't think he cares. Like, he doesn't say anything. He's just like, I need you to sign.
He has a job to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's been a long week.
Dogs is not stopping the man. He's on a time schedule, and if he doesn't get back to the next customer at the right time, he's going to be in trouble. He does not have time.
He's probably going to go home and do that later himself. It's been a long week for him and the dog. Let's be honest.
A good catch by the lady. Saved herself a trip to the vet and broken bones and however many, thousands of dollars in bills. But dude, just you're right. He wants to get paid. He's like, look, I gotta go.
The dog's probably upset that he was saved, if you think about it. Like, maybe he didn't like his owners. He's like, what is this? Like, I just want to get over.
Take me with you. I didn't jump out this window to attack you. I jumped out this window to go with you.
I had a fish like that once. It kept jumping out of its tank no matter what I did.
Did it ever jump out of its tank when you weren't there?
I had a fish. I had a beta fish a number of years ago that kept I kept saving it, and it kept jumping out of the tank. And then eventually I just wasn't there one day, and he was out for a little too long, and it was, it was done. But he was actually a suicidal fish. It was very strange. I tried to keep the tank as clean as possible. I don't know what his problem was. He just didn't want to stay alive. Yeah.
What a dummy. You would have thought the first few times after you rescued him and you realized what's out there, not a good thing for him.
He wanted to die is the point.
No, obviously, yes.
The beta fish I have now, though, she's really happy. So just so people know, I don't kill not all my fish were suicidal, just that one.
Just that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. I don't think I have a picture of this cloth available here, but anyway, bottom line is that there's like this George Washington tent piece. It was it's about yay big. It's like the corner of one of his tents that he would eat dinner in and have meals and stuff during the Revolutionary War. It's pretty cool. And it was found on a Goodwill auction site. So it's not like it was hanging out at the local Goodwill, mixed in with the leisure suits and the reused scuba gear or whatever. But I think it's really cool. And so he paid. So I've got to make a point to going to these websites, these Goodwill type auction sites. I think he paid $1,300. Yeah, $1,300 for that? For a piece with authenticity, because anyway, they traced it back. anyway, and it's framed and it's nice for $1,300. So I just wondered. I mean, again, this was an auction site. This wasn't at a store. Have you guys ever gotten anything? Because you hear stories all the time, like, "Hey, I bought a frame, and inside was a picture of the original copy of the Constitution." But you'll hear people
Right.
buy stuff at Goodwill, and it's a treasure, and they didn't know this piece of art was worth
Taco Bell. They
Taco
didn't
Bell,
know.
yeah.
It was on the Taco Bell wall. Holy smokes.
Have you guys ever found anything fun? Any treasures?
Nothing's coming to my mind. I'm sometimes like I'm sometimes afraid to bring back home something that's like haunted. You know what I'm saying? Like I've heard stories. I heard those kind of stories where someone gets like some doll or some, I don't know, piece of jewelry, and like things aren't the same ever again in their house, if you know what I'm saying. So I maybe not necessarily from Goodwill, maybe from like an antique store. But I can't recall the last time I found anything like really valuable other than maybe a few magazines that my mom has found a while back from like the 1930s that probably would be worth something. Like Time magazine, I think it was, or Life magazine actually.
That's
Anyway,
cool.
I don't recall. But yeah, nothing crazy like in that story.
Carol, you've ever found anything cool?
So I know this is going to shock you that I don't go to Goodwill very often. Not a usual stomping ground. But what I will say is, when I used to be more entrenched in the toy and doll collecting, I used to go to a lot of these shows that they would have. And so that was a great place to find stuff that people didn't know was worth X. And I used to call it Barbie arbitrage, where I would go to the show and you'd find something that somebody didn't know was worth X, and then you'd be able to go throw it on eBay later and do pretty well. So I would say I found a whole slew of things, but those were things where they were probably hundreds of dollars each, value, like incremental arbitrage, never something that was like thousands or tens of thousands or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you do enough of the hundreds, and that adds up over time.
Yeah, I got to go to that Goodwill site later. You know what? Let me put this story in the. I got to get back to you later. Story pile. I found a book from 1888 once. I think it was at it was either a Goodwill or a not a consignment shop. Maybe it was used books. I don't know. I only paid like $10 or $12 for it. It is my favorite book ever. It is a complete collection, not complete, but it's like the major speeches in the U.S. Congress from 1775 to 1888, and it is fascinating. It puts so much stuff into context, and I'm a nerd. Okay, so check this out. Somebody posted this recently, and I printed this up and coupled it with that. This is the ages of the founding fathers. No, I didn't cross-check this, but it's a meme, so it has to be accurate.
Was that my post from the 4th of July?
This?
Yeah.
No, yeah, totally. From Carol Roth posted this on the 4th of July.
I put one. I started with Madison, and I think I ended with Ben Franklin. So.
I would have totally given you credit if I'd seen. No, this was, I think, from I think somebody posted this on Pat's Facebook page after they lifted it from you, as a matter of fact. So anyway, founding fathers' ages as of 1776. Look at that. James Monroe was 18, Aaron Burr 20, John Marshall 20, Alexander Hamilton 21, James Madison 25, Benjamin Rush 30, John Jay 30, Thomas Jefferson 33, and Thomas Paine 39.
I'll add on. So John Adams was 40, and Ben Franklin, I believe, was 70-ish. So,
and I think the point of the person who posted this was, can you imagine people in America today between the ages of 18 and, sorry, Thomas Paine, you didn't make the cut, 18 and 33, doing what these men did? I can't even begin to think that we have this many people in that age range, close your ears, Daniella, that can, even do simple math. Oh, of course, I shouldn't talk about math. I have no leg to stand on there. But my point is, I feel like, obviously it was an incredible generation. Absolutely amazing what they did and what they created. My goodness, I'm terrified for the future of this country. Give me some hope. Somebody give me some hope here. Come on. Uh-oh. Where'd she go?
Oh, we lost her. She had to
Uh-oh.
step
Audio
away.
only. Audio only, Carol.
I have to step away for a sec, guys.
Okay. I'll mute your mic. You just pop back on the video when you get a chance, and I will put you back up there. Tell me, Daniela, do you have hope for the future of this country?
No, not at all. I mean, the two people that are running for president, I don't have strong feelings against Trump necessarily. I just don't,
Right.
if he's the nominee, I mean, he is a nominee, but he will be. But like, if he's the one that the Republicans want, that's fine. But it's just unfortunate that we're dealing with like we couldn't find anyone younger, and I think we could. It's just we don't want to give them. I actually don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of like backroom politics that happens to push this, but it's just quite a mess to see where we're at least with that race. But as far as like the generations go, I've had this theory for a while that I think younger people mature later, and I haven't found like actual studies to prove this, but I just see it, and you see that with the present generation and in the future generations, I believe so, is that people seem to mature at a later rate now, or they develop at a later rate, whatever that may be. If it's like, I don't know if it's like biological now, or I think it's mostly environmental. But it seems to me like people in the past, like what you have pointed out, they seem to have somehow developed in a way where they could deal with larger or deal with more consequential issues in a more just a more mature way than people can do now, because I can't imagine any 18-year-old doing anything or even having like a full-time job and successfully doing it. You know what I'm saying? They're still
Mhm.
children. So technically if you're 18 and older, you're not a child anymore technically. But
Right.
have you spoken to any 18-year-old recently that would pose as like highly mature or I don't know, able to find a nation? Absolutely not. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I don't know
have
what's
an
happening.
immense. Yeah. No. So. Okay. So. Boy, this is a tough one because no, I don't think that this generation of Americans can do anything even remotely close to what previous generations of Americans have done, and I hope I'm wrong. And there, oops, I unmuted you there, Carol. Okay, so I hope that I'm wrong, but it's almost like the sacrifices that they made that's why we've gotten so comfortable today,
True,
and
exactly.
we don't have to think as much as they did back then. They were fighting for their literal survival. I mean, right up through the greatest generation even. And these creature comforts that we enjoy are because they're the fruits of these have been generational harvests leading back to the late 1700s, right?
Yeah.
And another part of that I think is that they were too successful in creating this nation, and that now we're so comfortable and we're so distracted, and we don't concentrate, we don't focus our brain power the way they did in the genius that
It's like
created
that
this thing.
meme, good times make weak men.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of that meme?
Mm-hmm. And
That
then
was a classic.
weak men
Yeah.
weak
Yeah.
men make
And weak
hard
men make
time.
hard times, right? Hard
Mm-hmm.
times make good men. We're in that cycle. We're in the bad part of the cycle right now, I suppose.
We are definitely in the good times make weak men part of the
Yeah.
cycle.
Oh, we're not. Hold on a second, though. Are we not in the weak
Hard
men?
ti-
Hold on.
hard
Weak
times
men.
makes
Good
men.
times make weak men.
Strong men.
And weak
Yeah.
men. No, good times make weak men, and weak
Right.
men make hard times.
Right.
Hard
So
times
hold,
make
so
strong
so
men.
And
so
hard
what?
times make strong men.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Are we
Yeah.
not in that? Hopefully we're just, where are the great men? They're coming, right? They're almost here, right? Right? Give me
We're
hope.
definitely in the Kali Yuga stage of human development. Have you heard of that meme?
No.
Oh,
What is
okay.
that one?
Oh, don't worry about it.
No.
We're definitely in a. I think I'm with you, Keith. I think we're in the transition, at least, or we're just entering in the hard times make strong men. I would have to agree with that because because I mean the polarization of the country is getting like absolutely ridiculous. I've been only consciously aware of politics and actively involved since 2015, but from what I'm hearing from and I thought I was just consciously aware, so that's why I started being aware of it. But I've been told also from older people that it is far more polarized now than it was in the past, like in the 90s and in the early 2000s. I don't know if that's true, but it seems to be the case that things are just getting far more polarized than they have been ever.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. I think, and I've cited this before. I don't know how accurate this is. Y'all can either back me up or tell me no, it happened before then. But it feels like when the Clinton administration took all of the W keys off of the keyboards in the White House when George W. Bush was coming in. That was like the first sign that, like, that used to be stunning. Like, what? Oh, come on, grow up, guys. And now it's like that's a childish prank compared to the shit they pull now.
Yeah.
So
and here's the thing. I mean, so yes, that was a prank, and there was a little bit of back and forth there. But because we didn't have as much focus on 24-hour news media, we certainly didn't have social media. We didn't have the same level of division. I mean, I'm sort of an oldie on Twitter. I think I joined in 2010 or something like that. And when Twitter, or I guess it's called X now, but I still call it Twitter.
Me too.
When I first started, you would have much more discussions about things that were non-political, and I started getting involved in politics completely accidentally during the 2012 election, because with Mitt Romney, they needed somebody who could explain what private equity was. And so with my background, they kind of dragged me in there. And even at that point in time, it really wasn't as much of a part of the social media discourse. It really sort of evolved during, I think, that 2012 to 2016 period. And then once 2016 hit, it was completely off the rails. So I haven't been, as focused in it, but I did really see a shift and twist sort of around that time.
Yeah. Social media. Absolutely. And I apologize to everybody in the feed, but I always make this point. When kids grew up, like my age, Gen X, get off the bus. And if you had a rough day, or there's a bully, or there's problems, you can take a breather until, for 16 hours or whatever it is, till you had to go back. Now it is around the clock.
Yeah.
In your face, social media. Okay. These stories, I don't think they're a big deal. And I hope that this isn't some, podcast that people go back and reference 3 years from now, and the debris of there's like about 2,000 people left on Earth, and they're like, look at this podcast, what a dumbass who said this. But dengue fever cases showing up in Georgia and South Carolina, New Jersey. We've got bubonic plague in Colorado. Do y'all see stories like this, headlines, and you're like, look, I'm not believing any kind of government warning about anything. Screw you. You burned those bridges in 2020 to the point where I'm not even going to read the story. I just printed them up so I can read the headline. So should I be concerned about stuff like that, or do you just write that off and be like, whatever?
Go ahead, Dave.
I think I don't give any. I agree with you, Keith. I mean, have you seen? Was it Ben Affleck's daughter? She was just recently speaking at her LA County, and she made and you have the Hollywood elite doing this. I think it's quite obvious that they get off to like trying to control us, and they're trying to find the next thing to like capitalize off of. So no, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I've seen a lot of other like diseases sprout out that they're trying to capitalize on since COVID, and none of them really stuck. So I just think they're just trying to find the next thing. There was like a Candida virus that they were trying to make a big deal about like a year after COVID, like 2023 or 2020. Oh yeah, like last year I remember the Candida auris virus was like the big thing, and now they're trying to make this the next thing. So I don't really put much stock into it.
Yep.
I mean, there's sort of two sort of groups, right? There's like the murder hornets and the
I miss those guys.
Some sort of like fear porn that's going on. I tend to ignore that. Where I do pay attention, though, are when we have illegals who are coming into this country, as Mikey from Florida is talking about, and they're resurrecting known diseases that we have basically stamped out, things like the measles in Chicago. So when I see something like that makes me concerned and angry, and that's where I'm more focused rather than on the new strain of whatever it is. And so I think there's sort of a diversion for me.
And then they try to blame anti-vaxxers for all of these outbreaks. It's like,
Right.
no, you don't get that. No, you don't get to play that card if you're going to leave the door open for the third world. You're going to import the third world. You're going to import third world problems and third world diseases. So stop with this whole anti-vaxxers canard. I want to play this. This is what you were referencing there. I guess her name is Violet Affleck.
Yes.
And I don't know if the city council meeting she's at, if they give you a minute to talk. I've never heard of that limited time, but oh my gosh, as I remarked on Pat Gray Overtime today, it's like they sped this up. You're listening to a podcast on triple speed. But she is definitely in a hurry to make her points, all of which suck. She wants mask mandates back. Look, you're welcome to keep wearing your mask, Violet. No one's stopping you. But here is Miss Violet Affleck.
Hi, Violet Affleck, Los Angeles resident, first-time voter. I'm 18. I contracted a post-viral condition in 2019. I'm okay now, but I saw firsthand that medicine does not always have answers to the consequences of even minor viruses. The COVID-19 pandemic has thrown that into sharper relief. 1 in 10 infections leads to long COVID, which is a devastating neurological cardiovascular illness that can take away people's ability to work, move, see, and even think, stands to exacerbate our homelessness crisis, as well as the suffering of many people in our city. It hits communities of color, disabled people, elderly people, trans people, women in a public-facing essential job the hardest. To confront the long COVID crisis, I demand mask availability, air filtration, and far UVC light in government facilities, including jails and detention centers, and mask mandates in county medical facilities. We must expand the availability of high-quality free tests and treatment, and most importantly, the county must oppose mask bans for any reason. They do not keep us safer. They make vulnerable members of our community less safe and make everyone less able to participate in Los Angeles together. Thank you.
Whew.
Lord, and I felt bad for her because Ben Affleck was her dad, but like there's obviously a lot more of things going on there. I can't even really laugh at the situation.
Right. It's tragic, man.
Tragic. That's, that's some sort of mental abuse that this poor girl has gone through, who is so frightened of her own shadow and is spewing back this propaganda that makes no sense. And I think that's part of the what has made us so angry with this COVID nonsense is it really did exacerbate a mental health crisis in this country. And there are a lot of people who are still not okay, from all different kinds of mandates. And so you see it manifest here in this young woman who, obviously has a lot of resources and, other good things going on in her life ostensibly. It's very sad to see.
Mm-hmm. It is. And it's very sad. But congratulations, though. We have a replacement for the Micro Machines guy now. But it is. There's going to be people. You're right. There's going to be people among us wearing masks for the rest of our lives. We will see them, depending on what part of the country you're in. Yeah. You will see them with more frequency for the rest of your life. And it's you talk about a lasting impact of the negative kind from a government.
She kind of reminds me, or she's trying to tap in her inner Greta Thunberg. I kind of got that vibe from that.
You get that vibe. Yeah.
But don't you think that starts somewhere? I mean, obviously the Greta thing, she was pimped out by her parents. It's not like she woke up at, age 8 and was like, hey, I'm going to be this, lunatic poster child. That was all her parents. That was, parental abuse. So, the question is, and we know Ben's off with J-Lo, so it's probably not coming from him, although he's got his own set of issues. Where is this angst coming from? Why does she want to tap in? Why does she think Greta Thunberg is something to aspire to?
I don't know anything about celebrities or celebrity culture. Is like Ben Affleck political at all, or do they?
No, he's got a lot of problems though. He's got
maybe it's she's just like neurotic like her father. I don't know, but obviously she's brainwashed.
I don't think he's neurotic. I think he's, I'm not going to trash Ben Affleck.
I have no idea. I just figured.
You can go look up all of his various issues.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I just thought of, I'm going to do this later. I just thought of a Twitter post that I've got to put up with this video. Yeah. I don't want to ruin the fun. So I'll post it later. It'll be this video
We're
accompanied with
workshopping it.
something else.
Yeah.
Can I also mention, so
Okay.
Benjamin Flensburg says like something really interesting. It seems like the richer you were born and thinking you didn't deserve it, it makes you a constant hater of your own people. I grew up working. And I think that's such an important point because I also, I grew up in a blue collar family where work was valued and required in order to get what you want. And, if you don't have sort of that, if everything's handed to you and you don't have that ability to care for yourself, it does give you this very distorted feeling about the world and certainly a lot of guilt about perhaps, not having to go through those challenges. Now, that guilt could be channeled in a very productive way. But clearly in this case, it's being acted out in a mentally unstable way.
I have a question for Mike E. Looks like Florida. Still see some masking here in Florida. Are you in Florida, Mike, where you're seeing a lot of masking? That would be a shock for me.
But to be fair, I mean, there are use cases where it makes sense to wear a mask, right? If I was on a plane and somebody was sneezing and like this next to me, I'd throw on a mask in a second. Yeah. Or, if you have a little bit, let's say, of a latent cold, but you're not like super contagious, maybe you wear a mask. Just like there are some cases, and Florida has lots of elderly, where I do think it makes sense. It's just the hysteria of what a mask can and cannot do.
Right. And if you want to trust the science, then you look at these masks and you look at the size of the droplets and you'll see COVID will pass right through. There are other stuff that will actually be stopped by the masks. But if you're doing it for
your
COVID,
neighbor's snot on an airplane or something like that.
Thank you. And to your point about, if I'm surrounded by someone sneezing or what have you, like one of the things that I do as a courtesy to my passengers, if I sneeze, then I'll roll down the window and let some fresh air in, kind of recirculate, get that, I mean, whatever. That's just, I'm weird. Okay. Just a couple more quick things here. Let me show you this. I got 2 bear videos this week, which is unusual.
Ooh.
But I want to play this for you here. So there's a little bear cub. This is about 2-minute long video. And look at the
this video.
I have probably an unpopular opinion about this video, but let's just watch the bear enjoy his little meal there. He's going to town, and he's not leaving till. So, spoiler alert: he's going to eat everything before he leaves.
Not everything, I hope.
Not everything on the table. Okay. By the way, somebody is recording. Like there's another person at this table. Everybody at the table is just sitting motionless, and I get that. I would be the same way, motionless, right? I'm not running. I'm not making myself a target. Yeah. Oh no.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That poor kid heard that bear, felt that breath.
Yeah.
And so he's like, hey, you know what? This is the plate right here. This is the one. So cleans up pretty well there. He's like, all right. You guys got anything else?
How freaked out would you be? I mean, I know it's a black bear versus a brown bear, but still like a little too close for comfort there.
It's small though. I mean, I don't know. I probably would leave.
You have a fighting chance.
Very slowly, just kind of like back away slowly.
Right. Yeah. I think I would. I would just be mentally prepared for him to lunge on me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, I would just I can take you, bear, as long as your mom doesn't show up. Just you be cool, have your food, but I swear I'm getting ready to. Yeah, he just moaned there too.
Good. Oh, this is tasty. Thanks, guys. This is great stuff. Okay, well,
somebody else down here. Where's your food?
Hey, what you got?
Where's your food?
What's up?
Carry bear spray. Just a word to the wise. Doesn't always work, but carry it. I don't know. This is just some trash somebody left. He's like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, that point is where we'd be like getting up calmly.
Right.
Just, like,
this guy walked away.
Some assholes like following him around with a video camera.
I know. This is your chance to live, man. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me just say one thing here. I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I'm full of them, and I realize that. I'm sorry. That kid's not going to make it in the world. He's not going to make it in the world.
No, I mean, listen, here's the thing. You don't want the kid to panic. You don't want them to make eye contact with the bear. So I kind of understand.
Well, the bear's
Check
like the
in with
size
that
of a
10
dog,
years.
though. I mean, maybe this is just like my female brain, but like, how is a dog much? I'm sorry, is a bear like that much stronger than like a large dog? This one, because he looked really small.
I mean,
It didn't look threatening at all. I don't know. I wouldn't be that scared. Those people looked super scared. It's not
Yeah.
a big bear. I would just like stand up and leave. It's not.
well, it's a
Slowly.
black bear versus a brown bear, and my
Yeah.
very limited research on this, knows that they're much less to be afraid of than brown bears.
Sure,
but
yeah.
Okay.
still,
I feel like that's a fact I used to know and just totally forgot, but now I'm
Yeah,
going to start
so-
remembering.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
some different because every time like I go on a hike, I read like, what do you do with the rattlesnakes? What do you do with the bears or whatever? Like just to kind of keep it in my head.
So
but yeah,
I think what I'm going to do if I'm in that position, and again, you never know. I'm just talking, right? But I'm sitting there and the bear jumps up. First of all, they had a chance. The bear didn't just magically appear on the table, right? They could have started to back away sooner than this when they saw it in the woods. I don't know.
but you don't want to appear that you're a predator either.
Right,
So that's
exactly.
the thing. You have to kind of make them know that you're a human, not a predator. I'm saying this as if like I have any idea what I'm talking about. I never leave my house, so just FYI.
We're totally Monday morning quarterbacking this, and I get that. But here's what I'm probably doing. I see the bear. I'm sitting at the table. I don't want to make myself food. I know that. I know not to just run away. If I don't have bear spray within reach, then I'm probably stuck there, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is I'm kind of resigning to the fact that, oh, shit, this is going to make a hell of a Twitter post. So I'll probably start. I'll probably, as I'm sitting there, start rolling or snap some still shots, right? But my brain is constantly thinking, if this thing lunges on me, then I need to be ready to brawl. I'll die. I'll probably die, but at least they have the food there to distract them. But it's good to keep that in mind. The black bear less likely to attack you than the brown
they're
bear.
much less aggressive. And the thing you have to be scared of, especially with the brown bear, is if their babies are around, the mama bears.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not a good situation.
That's what you don't want. Okay, one more bear video. It's a slightly different temperature in the room. I don't understand I got distracted when I first watched this. I guess it's the sound of a drone. It sounds like a fake human voice making it, but just let's move on past that, because I want you to be able to hear the bear, but just ignore the fake sounding drone thing. I don't know the backstory on this. I have tried to figure out the backstory on this. If anybody has details, please do my job for me. Put it in the comments. But check this out. It's wild. Wait, what?
Oh my God.
The bear was distracted for a moment. Gave the guy a couple extra paces, huh? What are we witnessing here?
Nothing good. We are witnessing nothing good. We are not witnessing a happy ending. This is
really?
This is a fairy tale.
Right.
This is like an 1600s fairy tale, not like a Disney fairy tale. I'm just saying this probably has a bad ending.
Okay, so all right, I'm with you, but something's bugging me. I'm sorry to be a cynic, but I want to know if you're running for your life, which this man obviously is, right? Are you running with one of your hands in your pocket? Is this a complete fabrication?
I don't think this is real.
See, right?
I don't think that. My first instinct was to think it's not real.
Okay.
But that's a bear I'd be afraid of. The last one was like a nothing burger. Now that's a bear.
My first instinct about everything is that it's not real.
Yeah, I don't.
A good base.
There's something
base
about
scenario.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Maybe it's AI. I don't know.
Maybe
Okay,
he's got bear spray in his pocket or something that he's trying to hold on to. Or
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, you might be onto that. All right, well, that was
But
interesting.
I don't know. Whatever it is, it didn't seem like a good story. It didn't seem like a happy story.
No. One last thing here for you.
Which, by the way, before we go off, where
Yep.
were his friends? Like, why is there a man
flying the drone?
No,
They're
I
flying
just don't know what's going on there. Like, what? Like, did he outrun everyone else? Are they back? Did the bear eat them? I need more context for this.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay, so I have this story. I don't know how I ran across it because it's dated sometime last year, August 16th, 2023. So it's been around a while. It's new to me, but I want to ask y'all what you think of this. Here's the headline: Bride asks for divorce a day after wedding due to groom's cake prank. Apparently, the bride had asked the groom one thing, according to her, for their wedding celebration at the reception, and that was, please do not smear cake on my face or blah, blah, blah. Can we just, all right, you're good. Okay. And apparently she got assurances from him. And so what he did is they were standing at the cake and he dunked her head in the cake. So he's an ass, obviously. But is that I don't know, a divorceable offense?
Grounds for divorce.
Grounds for divorce. I mean, so she said the next day she told him, I'm done, and she filed for divorce. So the reason I mentioned the date of the story is in the story it talks about how she says this thing should be completely done, like this divorce should be final by January at the latest. And I'd like to follow up and see, where we stand on this. But she says she can't trust him. And somebody else was quoted in this story. Somebody commented. By the way, we had a story I think last week that I guess Gen Z or whoever, they scroll to the comments, and I got to thinking about that. Oh crap! I think that is how we consume news now. But somebody in the comments said, I think what he did was a red flag about not respecting you and your wishes. I agree. To say nothing of the physical aggression. But even if it wasn't, the fact you really didn't like it is enough. Okay, so we got there. Like, I didn't like it. That's reason.
Okay,
That's grounds for divorce.
So here's the thing. It sounds kind of like the guy was a jerk. He should have respected her. But sometimes guys don't get it. They need to be told a few times, or in the heat of the moment he forgot or whatever. Assuming it was just a loving, like, hey, this is what we do. It sounds to me like she just really wanted to have a wedding and wear a dress and have a cake and do all the fun things. And so she's like, well, if I can get through it with this guy, good enough. I had my special day. That's fine. So I feel like he's the one that's avoiding all of the future issues. Yes, exactly. Dodged a bullet. I think, if she's that uptight, unless there was something we don't know, maybe she has like a lifetime cake phobia. She had a dream that she was like, somebody came out of the cake and strangled her. Like, unless there was like some cake trauma or some legit reason in the past, it sounds like she's kind of a nightmare. I gotta be honest.
Cake trauma. That's a good band name right there. Cake trauma. but hang on though. Hold on, because the guy is obviously a jerk. I think we all agree with that, right? He's a jerk. No?
Here's the thing. He's not necessarily a jerk. He just was. He's not. He doesn't listen well. He has bad communication. He probably just thought like, it would. She'll get over it. It'll be cute. He didn't realize that this was that important. So that's a communication thing. Probably should have done a better job of communicating up front.
I mean, it wasn't a shotgun. It wasn't a. Like, hey, I just met you on the casino floor in Vegas. Let's go down to the chapel. But she did say it was they weren't dating too long before, the wedding. But it's like, you gotta know if someone is just, got as someone said, a mean heart before you go there. Right. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah, right. It's possible you have two people that deserved each other and now they're no longer together. and that sucks.
Here's the big loser in all of this is everyone who went to the wedding because they gave them a bunch of presents.
Yeah.
And
Right.
are those getting returned? This is this is what I need to. This is the information I need before Judge Carroll can make a ruling on who's the jerk here.
Oh, hold on. Look at this. Wait a minute. I think that was actually in the story. Did she? She spent $1,600. Did you find the story or something? Did she?
OG Thor is going hard on her.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Hang on.
Okay. This brings in a whole new element here.
Hang on. I'm looking. I feel like that was in here, but no, I don't see that. Where'd you get that $1,600 number, OG Thor? Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she did. Okay, I thought that was a fun fact that I would have found if I had read all of the story, but no, I don't see that in here. Anyway, whatever. There goes another tree, y'all, devoted to the Friday live stream.
I'm hungry for cake now. So thanks, Keith.
Okay. Ladies, I really appreciate your time today. Don't forget Carol Roth. Hear her life story, episode 98. It's one of the playlists there at youtube.com/atthemic. And she's got this awesome book, You Will Own Nothing. And then also sign up for her free newsletter at carolroth.com. As for Daniella, she is.
Can I just add carolroth.com/news?
Oh, yes, /news. Thank you. Nope, that's good. carolroth.com/news. And Daniella's got a Substack you need to check out, The Dialectic Project. And then she's frequently on Austin Peterson's Wake Up America show. And perhaps some exciting things in addition to that coming up for Daniella that we need to keep an eye out for. I really appreciate your time today. I hope that y'all have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me, and thanks to everybody in the chat as well. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thanks for inviting me on. I like this a lot.
Absolutely.
Really
well, I will drag y'all in here again sometime for sure. Anyhow, have a great weekend, and we will catch you Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna talk about the FBI. That's what we're gonna do.
Awesome.
And then we'll do the Friday live stream as well with a couple friends of mine. Once again, thanks everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Have a good weekend.